Greetings, family. Greetings. Make sure you like and share as you come in. Like, share, and subscribe, or like as you come in and share it, please. Gratitude. I've not seen anything like this. I want to say in a long time, but I'm going to have to say ever. This shit is crazy. I've had people out the ass reaching out to me. Some people are legit. Some people are not. Some people just want to be seen and heard, like the shit we dealt with Mo3. Like, it's a lot going on. So make sure you tap the like as you come in. I have a client in 45 minutes. So I have to do this quickly. I'm sorry. I'm trying to eat and drink this coffee. I'm getting ready to call a gentleman that has been with Dr. York, I think they said since 1973. Sleep. I took a nap, apparently. I took a nap. I've been up for hours. Down the rabbit hole. Looking, even last night, I don't think we went to bed till after 3 o'clock. And then I've been up since about probably 9. Greetings, family. Even when it comes to, like, y'all, we saw what happened yesterday with the Melanite children, crystal children from the cosmos. For those of you who don't know my teachings or have never followed me or don't know what I stand for, I believe that we are the deities that have been trapped here on this plane of existence from a place in the cosmos called Atlantis, which people refer as Atlantis. But I believe it is Atlantis, the place of the crystal people, the place of the crystal children, the Melanite children. I've never been a follower of Dr. York's. I've never come up under his teachings. I've heard of his name, but I did not know who he was genuinely and fully. There has been some things that I have said via the spirit that I have now seen inside of his doctrine, even that passage that I read yesterday. And then I also saw that he had broke down religion. I've said that to you all. Never have I seen that in his, I've never seen his doctrine. To know that, I told you that to break down the word religion, it is a legion of many. And that they use it to infiltrate and break down the population by division of using religion. I don't know that from his doctrine. I know that partially because in 2008, a gentleman came to my house. We sat down and had a conversation. He did not bring up Dr. York to me, so I don't know. Why my glasses look crooked to me? So I don't know. Gratitude sent down, and then via from what I got from the spirit. So I've never come under this doctrine of him. All of this for me has been confirmation. If you didn't know, I've been in and out of real estate since I was 18 years old. I have a record label called Graveyard Records. I've had several of my disgruntled followers go to platforms and speak very negatively about me and lie on me and say that I was a pedophile, that I have raped and molested people and children while drugging them at my events. This is just like, it makes, every time I say it, it makes me angry to no fucking end, bro. To see that something like this, all of my has lined up. I gave some information a few months ago. I said, the Spirit has spoke to me. It's come to me. Yehuda said, because I fall in line with the soul of Mother Adina, the grandmother of the cosmos, the creator. And then she is also the connector, that is the intranet that connects all souls of existence. She is the giver of the soul. And then I fall in line under Yehuda, the great Simeon, the SIM card, the SIM1, the original pineal gland, that is the gateway keeper to the grandmother of the connection in the frequency. She is the connection of energy and soul power. He is the connection of the frequency, and together they bring forth a high vibration of love, peace, information, the connection of the internet, the connection of the spirit and the soul. And it is the connection inside of the DNA, which is the mother, the grandmother, Adina, which is the alpha of the DNA. And they come together as one whole in line with the body of the deities of crystal people. That is my teaching, formulated from the spirit. And under that understanding, there is a deity that I give and pay homage to named Metatron, who has a counterpart named Mariolite. And I spoke on Metatron recently, a few months ago, being held captive. I said the spirit spoke to me and said that they have Metatron captive, and they have had him for a while. And then I traced back each one of his lives, not verbatim broken down, but I told you Metatron also traces back to Mark Twain. We looked into that and broke that down. And I also said I want to connect him to Archangel Michael if there ever was one. Anybody remember that? Anybody remember that of my teachings? Before I go forward. Cosmic TJ says yes. In an email that was sent to me last night, this morning, that I saw this rising. I saw it and I'm reading through it from someone who wanted me to understand that they are a follower of Dr. York, and that Dr. York believes and knows himself to be. They said an extraterrestrial from the cosmos, from 9 ether. You said, yes, I remember the Archangel Michael comparison. That is so important right now. Gratitude, Yasmin. Why is it important? Let me tell you something. It is important because this particular follower of Dr. York says that Dr. York trapped them in the music. Listen, now it makes sense. I'm about to fuck you up. Trapped them in the music. Dr. York had a record label. He had brought forth a lot of music people, a lot of people, which is why some people did believe that this man had done these things. Because if you're in the music, a lot of people, we understand what that is. So when I say they trapped him in the music, now it's going to make more sense. Because Dr. York's teaching, from what his followers sent me an email and says, that Dr. York's teaching says that Dr. York, Malachi Zeke York, is an extraterrestrial from the cosmos, and that the teachings of Archangel Michael is based on him. I hope that just fucked your head up, because it did mine this rising. And to understand that he has connections inside of the music industry, that is making sense of how they trapped him in it and have been holding him captive. So then I said to you, they also have Mariolite, and they're testing her genetics. And then a few months ago, I got a text message from someone that says her best friend's brother is in the military, and they were eavesdropping and overheard him talking to someone on the phone, stating how they had a Melanite woman held captive underground, running tests on her, and they've had her for a very, very long time. She said, I immediately thought of you and Mariolite. We are here for the rising. We're here for the rising. If I've never come under Dr. York's teaching, and Dr. York says that he is Michael, and I have now told you that Michael is Metatron, and Metatron is being held captive. And I called out to Yehud. I said, free him. Free him. See, this is how shit lines up. Let me show you this shit real quick, bro. January 1st, 2023, I did a live where I did teaching, kind of like a Bible study, and then I went into a world reading. I played Oaktown's 357 song, Juicy Got 'Em Crazy. The name of that group is Oaktown 357. Yesterday, when all of this hit my table, it is now January 2nd. 1 and 3. 1 and 2 is 3. January 2nd, that's 3. Inside of the new year of 2023, that is 5. And I connected it. I'm connected inside of the energy of the soul and the spirit. And I just told you that's what? 7. That is Adina and Yehuda, the soul and the spirit. That is 7. 3, 5, 7 is when all of this happened. And I had played it the day before. Oaktown 357. It is the year of the 7. It is the year of the spirit and the soul and the spirit, the rising of the deities. I told you I would wake them all up. I would bring them all. Going to bring them all. R. Kelly has actual videos of being a disgusting pedophile, and it's not alleged. He's pissing on 14-year-old girls. He has videos, documentation. There are witnesses, eyewitness, bodyguards. They gave him 30 years. There is not one shred of evidence or document on Dr. York, and they gave him 135 years. You ask yourself why. There is document that was sent to me that says, if you take your teachings back and tell your followers that you made it all up, we'll release you. I don't know his teaching. Is not my concern. I know that my teaching has now, in some ways, lined up with Dr. York's teaching. And when I see the video of him being prosecuted in court, the spirit immediately says he's innocent. He did nothing of the sort. I, as Quatita Bathsheba Dean, cannot say that I am Adina, because I believe that I am Adina, the mother of the soul, an extraterrestrial crystal grandmother head sent here to free and bring home the deities. It is my belief, whether anyone else knows it, I know it. I am the acting Messiah. This came to my table for me to speak upon it, and I will do such. I have just found out that several of his children have been murdered under the guise of suicide and freak accidents and murders that are unsolved. I have now doctoring sent to me of recant statements as well as videos of women who know firsthand that the accusations were made up and falsified, had conversations with alleged son in alleged conversations with the son Jacob about him being upset about money not being given from his father, whom he held responsible for the mother having an aneurysm, and he wanted to get back. And they said that they were 15 and 16-year-old girls that he was giving alcohol to, allegedly. The young woman I'm speaking about, her name is Farah Muhammad. She says that he came to them and said to them, I want to get back at my father, and anybody will believe any accusation about pedophilia because it's pedophilia. It's molestation, and they'll believe it. And I want to do this. All of that, don't think he acted alone, allegedly. This goes deep. This goes deep. This comes to my table days after someone sent me something saying that they had documentation and videos and everything on me about me being this and that. And they would give it up for $250. And then what a kook and a dumb person I am for teaching about a Megatron. I've never taught on a Megatron. I don't know who that is, but I know who Metatron is. I know that Metatron is who the stories, some of the stories of Archangel Michael, as well as the connection with Mark Twain. And when we look back into that and how Mark Twain and that person was into music. This has been a cycle over and over again. It is my belief that Dr. York is innocent. I said it and I'm going to say it again. He's innocent. Free Dr. York. They have an attorney that is not his attorney, that is claiming to be his attorney, that Dr. York refuses to see. There's a gentleman by the name of Squirrel that wants to speak to me, so we're going to call him very quickly. Again, I have a client at 2:00, so I don't have much time. I will be back and forth on this computer today. Let's see what's being said here. Let's see.
Yes.
Hi, greetings. Is this Mr. Squirrel?
Yes, it is.
Hi, this is Quatita Dean.
Sis?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good for old man.
I totally get it. So I don't want to. I don't want to sidetrack. I want you to know that I'm on live on my platform right now. And I wanted to give you a call as Miss Iris asked and sent over your information. And she says that you have been alongside Dr. York since the 1970s. And I wanted to give you, opportunity to say what you wanted to say.
Oh, okay. Now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. How do we start?
Well, how did you meet him, and how long have you known him?
Okay. I met the master teacher in 1974. That's when I first met the master teacher. And being a young man during the 70s at that time, a lot of things were going on, and during that time, people were very conscious, looking for knowledge. And being a young man, I was doing all kind of crazy things in the street. And I just happened to be walking the street one day, and I saw some brothers. They were dressed in the traditional white. And we talked. And I had one question in mind all my life. I was raised in the South. I always wanted to know where the white people come from. And that was my biggest question. And they had a book, and I bought this book. The book was called The Sons of Canaan. And that blew me away. And ever since then, my devotion has been to the master teacher, because he answered questions that no one could answer, no one would dare touch. And over the years, I've gotten this in my life,
Yes.
This Sasu Usabat Unawap. And one thing I want to say is a lot of things, but the main thing is a lot of people use things to try to discredit the master.
Yes.
But one thing, they will not attack. They will not attack the information that he has put into the world. And he's been teaching since 1962. He just didn't start this. It's just not some fly-by-night thing. And what I really want to say also was, we have to realize that every race of people on the planet has a warner. Someone is sent to them. I don't care what race it is, they have a warner sent to them. He's our warner. And he didn't choose himself. He was chosen by the female forces of nature. And he was endowed with certain abilities to answer any question that the human mind can conceive. And over this period of time, he's allowed people from all over the world, all walks of life, regardless of the language, to come and question him. From upstate New York to Brooklyn to Coney Island to all these different places. And up until this day, no one has been able to disprove anything that he has said. He's a linguist. He was born speaking 19 languages. And that's what frightens the world. Because here's someone that can answer any question, regardless of the language. And that's what frightens this country. That's what frightens this beast man here. Because they know that he was coming. They know there's someone supposed to come to release us out of this bondage. And he's that person. And whenever anyone talks about the master teacher, they never attack the knowledge. They try to attack his personal character. And no one catches on to that. What about the knowledge that he's putting out?
Yes.
And no one attacks that.
Yes.
And that's what this whole thing is. So they come up with these conspiracies and all these types of games to defame, to kill, to remove them out of our presence. Because you've had a lot of leaders come, but no one has never done what he's done. He has a language for us. We have our language. No leader has given us our own language. We have everything that we need, and this country has come together. They know what he represents. And it's always been this same way. We have become our own worst enemy because of money. If the devil comes up and said, I'll give you some money to take this man or this feminine down, we'll take it. Not realizing that he's only doing it to stop us as a people from coming together. And that's what this whole thing is about. They had to remove him out of our sight because what he was doing was so powerful. It frightened the world. Right in southern Georgia, the Bible Belt races, we had our own land, our own culture, and that frightened them. We didn't have to depend on this country for anything. And it's those charges and those conspiracies that they put up, I know for a fact he didn't do it. I was on his security. We stood secured on our land. It's all over. And no time has children ever been around him to be that way. And the people that's doing all of this blaming, they're the ones, the Jacob Yorks, the Tariqs, and all of these different people. They know what they're doing is wrong, and it's so many people that takes up for this, and they know that they're wrong, but they won't speak up. And I'm going to speak up. I know he's innocent. I know that for a fact. I lived on the land, and there are many of us all throughout the world. Some brothers and sisters have been there longer than I have. And everybody has to stand up now, because this thing is critical, because no one has done what he's done. There's nothing today that's being put into the world that he has not already told us about.
Apparently, because that's how this happened. I was teaching on what I got from the Spirit about us being Melanite children from the cosmos. And apparently one of his followers said, my master teacher taught us that first. I said, you're a lie. I got that from the Spirit. The Spirit told me that. And they sent me his doctrine, and I was floored. And so I'm now speaking on his behalf, and I have no idea who he is, but I know the Spirit said this man is innocent and that his information came from the Spirit.
Well, let me explain something to you, sister. You might not think you don't know who he is, but trust me, by you doing what you're doing, he has a hand in it also. The ancestors have a hand in that.
Absolutely.
You understand that?
I was told that he said he is Archangel Michael. That story is written on him. A few months ago, I said that a deity that I understand is Metatron, that would also be Archangel Michael, is being held captive. I had no idea. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes, I do. I understand very much what you're saying. And it's no accident.
No.
That, because accidents, those things are something that they made up.
Yes.
You did that because it was supposed to happen.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And being that you are feminine, that power is into the feminized. We are a matriarchal society. And that's what people fail to realize. He's the first one to stand up and put our women up top. Now everyone wants to say, oh, yeah, we got to deal with the woman, we have to deal with this. But before then, they weren't doing that. Once the year 2000 came, that was the end of this Caucasian rule. And that's what this whole thing is. He's falling. This world, this country is falling.
Yes.
His whole empire is falling.
Yes.
And this is our time to rise up. And
yes.
It's coming through the powers of the female forces. And what you're doing is not something, nature's reaching out, because you are nature. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's no accident that you're saying that. It's no accident. That doesn't happen in our way. This is the natural order of things. And I really appreciate what you're doing. And, because everybody seems to be, they're afraid of Dr. York. They always say, what? Because the white man puts something on TV, then it got to be true.
Absolutely. I have many people, Mr. Squirrel, that say they're afraid of me. I have many people that say and have spoken against me and said that I was a pedophile and that I was molesting and raping children. And I've never, ever laid a hand on a child like that in my life. And I couldn't believe that my disgruntled followers would say such things about me because they have hurt feelings. And when I heard this, I said to myself and to the Spirit, I cannot be who I proclaim to be in the physical or the spirit and allow this man's reputation of who he is spiritually and physically to go in this direction and not speak on what I know the Spirit has said, because my whole platform is built on one band, one sound.
Right.
And I understand that his band is playing my sounds. So if it's one sound, it's one sound, then it's one sound. And we have to stand together. And I know that Dr. York is innocent.
Oh, definitely. Without a doubt. And it's our job to put it to the world.
Yes.
Because he's our savior. And that's what people, you have to realize the first thing he had to do was break this mental spell that we've been put under.
Yes.
It's called the spell of Leviathan, the spell of Kingu. And it's a spell of racial ignorance, spiritual blindness, and mental death. we've been taught to hate ourselves. And it's very easy for the white man, the devil, whoever, black devils, whatever, to come in and turn us against one another because we hate ourselves. And now you have someone here that looks like you and I, and he always said the reason they hate me is because my freckles are too close.
That's the first thing they say about me, my moles.
That's right.
Oh, you have moles all over your face. Well, yes. Given to me by the Spirit.
That's right. You know, and that's what's so troubling, because of all the, we hear black people saying, well, we need this, we need somebody to stand up, but when he stands up, and he was there, because isn't it strange, with all the power that this man has presented over the world, none of your so-called leaders mention him?
Right.
But they're mentioning everybody else. And it's been 20 years, as of May 8, 2002. 20 years. And all these people are running to talk about everybody else. And the ones that's here for them, they won't talk about. They won't help.
Absolutely.
If we lose him, we lose our existence. You might not believe that, but if we lose our own,
I'm gonna tell you why I believe that, because that's what I teach my followers, that if you lose me, you lose existence. I feel like I'm brought here to pick up where he was stopped.
Well, let's put it this way. He can never be stopped.
Absolutely, because the teaching can never stop. The doctrine is there. I've heard his name time and time again throughout the years, but again, I never knew who he was, and I think I'm honestly say I feel like it was for a purpose that I didn't, because nobody could ever say that I plagiarized. And now people who follow me, who's been following me from the beginning, saw the growth. They saw the information coming in, the whole Melanite crystal children came to me 3 years ago on a new year. So I'm shocked that, again, here we are 3 years to the day that I discovered that this man said it first.
Well, you got to remember one thing, since he always tells us, everything that he says is already encoded in your DNA.
Absolutely.
You just forgot. It was at that time that it had to rise up. Now is the time, because you had to grow to be able to accept it at this time. We all did.
Yes.
Had to grow according to what we were.
People have said I made it all up.
Well, they say that because it didn't come to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because you're doing what you're doing, see, people that's not doing anything, those are the ones that's doing all the talking.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
When you're doing something, that makes people upset.
Yes.
That makes people, because you're putting them on the spot. Because if you weren't doing anything, they wouldn't talk about you.
Yes, it makes them question their own greatness, and it because of the doctrine that's been taught for people to hate themselves. If your light is shining, that means that my light must be dim, and it never means that.
Yeah, that's right. And so you have to be who you are. Stay strong to who you are.
Absolutely.
And really appreciate the energy, the power. You know what I'm saying? The opportunity to be able to express and let the world know that Dr. York, the master teacher, they know he's innocent.
Yes.
And I mean, some of the things that he's done.
Yes.
You have all the Christian ministers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But none of them has translated the Bible. He did that. He translated the Torah. You have all of the Muslim scholars. They haven't translated the Quran. None of the so-called Muslims. They're reading somebody else's version.
Mm-hmm.
He translated the Quran for the Muslims. He translated the whole book of Revelations in 3 different languages. Mm-hmm. He translated the Torah for the Jews, the whole book of Psalms for the Hebrew Israelites. He gave us our own scripture called the Holy Tablets. And now, when the year 2000 came, he brought us into what he came to teach back in 1962, because when he brought it forth, people weren't ready. They were still asking questions on biblical characters, on characters that didn't exist.
This all comes at a time, Mr. Squirrel, where I'm currently writing what I call the Melanin Bible.
Okay.
This comes at this time.
Okay.
I know that I don't speak many languages, but I understand that this man is super powerful. I understand it has to be. It has to be. I can't think of it any other way. And I'm so sorry that this has happened. Like, my mind can't even rest because I can't believe that this is happening and that it's being allowed to happen. You know, that people came up against this. I can't even imagine where somebody is mentally in their mind that they would, even your own child.
Yeah, that's a fact. And that's how you got to realize.
It's so validating for me.
But remember this. A lot of this, even though we're there with him, it's also our fault because we allow things to happen. Mm-hmm. We allow the gossip. We allow the hatred for one another. That's even in our tribe, the jealousy, all of those things.
Yes.
You know? And he said, if he's not coming out to confusion, and this is a time all of us have to come together. Those people that know people that have done things wrong against the master, speak out. You know, speak out against these things. Because we don't have that kind of time left.
We don't. We do not.
This is real urgent.
Yes.
He's a 77-year-old senior citizen, and they got him where the worst criminals are in the world.
Have you been able, do you speak to him?
I haven't spoken to the master in years because I wasn't on the list. When I did write, my letter came back because they play games with his mail. They play games and things like that. You know, they know what they're doing. You know, they're trying to break him, which they'll never be able to do. What breaks him is us as a family not coming together. That's what hurts him. We have to come together. We have to get him out of there. We have to come together, forget our little pettiness, because it's not worth it. Being mad at your own brother or your sister, and then when they ask you why you're mad, you say, well, I don't know. That's dangerous.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
This is very dangerous. Half of the people that hate you can't explain why, can't tell you why they hate you.
They cannot. And that's what's so frustrating to me. Like, you go on these platforms and you speak, and I've had people speak against me solely because they didn't get my attention, or I didn't see their email, or, you know, I didn't see their text message in their time frame. You know, that you would go and you would say, I tried to kill your child, or I tried to, you know, rape women and drug women and molest women like children. Like, because you're upset, I didn't see your phone call.
That's insecurity. That's what that is. That's called insecurity. Because people want to, in order to be recognized, do something worth being recognized for. Do something. But people like to sit back and nitpick at what you're doing and try to find fault with what you're doing. But you do what you do because you've been guided, as you say, by the Spirit to do what you're doing. So you continue to do that. Yes. And you do what you're doing, we do what we're doing, and if everybody do their part, we can complete the circle and we all can come together.
Yes.
Because everybody's a cog in the circle.
Yes.
You have a job, I have a job, the next person has a job. If I do my job and don't worry about your job, you know, we could get a lot done. But that's our problem. We have to get this demonic energy, 6 ether energy out of our midst. You know, and that's the problem. And it's very hurtful, because when I met Dr. Hill, he was a young man, you know, full of energy, vibrant, teaching, walking fast, all, you know, that's how he was. You know, and now he's 77, I'm 75. That's a long time.
Yes.
That's a long time to take out of a person's life for something he didn't do. And they know he didn't do it, and they continue to perpetrate this lie And then you got the wannabes that got their little podcasts and all those. They say they hate to talk about black people coming together, but whatever the white man puts out, they'll grab it and then put it on their podcast. So yeah, I know he's a pedophile. I know he's this. And he's not in there for pedophilia. Those charges were dropped. But they don't like to talk about that. And they use misnomers. They give him a name that's not his. And that goes to show you how this whole thing is being set up and was set up from up high. It goes high.
So if the
Very
charges
high.
were dropped, what would happen? And I have a client here momentarily, but I want to get this out. If those charges were dropped, Mr. Squirrel, what happened?
Well, they started picking up other charges from RICO and all that. They had to come up with other charges and to make those things stick. He's not in there for that. Well, when the media says anything, they know that people hate people, the pedophile, so that's what the media does. Remember, the media is the Board of Education of the devil. That's his media. So he's going to put out what he wants the people to see because we are under the spell. People are under a spell.
Yes, they are.
Whatever
That's what
the
I say.
white man says, they're going to believe it. You know, I could know you. They could know you all your life. Very beautiful person, never gotten in trouble. But as soon as they put something on TV about you, I knew something was wrong with that sister.
Exactly. They do it all the time.
And that's our problem.
I tell everybody
We
we
don't
are under a
confide.
spell. We have been put to sleep.
That's right. And he's here to break that spell. And you have to break the spell by the right type of knowledge, the right type of energy, the right type of wisdom, so you can get a firm understanding to be able to use right reasoning. And that's what they hate. They can't deal with him mentally. You know, because no one will stand, none of your leaders will stand and say, you can ask me any question you want to, regardless of the language.
There's something that
if you
keeps
really
standing out to me that's bothering me. I said it to my friend earlier, and I'm not one to kick up dust, but I am one to kick up dust. And I question, why haven't I heard Farrakhan come to this man's defense?
Farrakhan said something one time that was back in, can't think exactly, 2000 or something, but that was only because we had a lawyer person that was helping out Malik Zulu Sabaz, and he went to Farrakhan and told him to say that when Farrakhan came to Atlanta. Other than that, and then we got invited as Shriners to his Savior's Day in 2005, I think it was, 2006. Other than that, he hasn't said anything.
He's bought and paid for.
Yes, all of those people are. You know, from everybody came on our land, from Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, all of them came on the land. All of them. They know who the master is.
Absolutely.
And they would not stand up for him because, like you said, they're bought.
Wow.
And I'm not afraid. I don't care who knows me. I'm not afraid. I don't care. You can't threaten my life. You can't take nothing from me. I'm not into that.
Absolutely.
I'm one of them old, I'm one of them old niggas.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't frighten me.
Yeah.
And I would tell them to their face, this crap has got to stop. And the brothers and sisters that's on this line, we have to come together. I don't care who it is, but we have to put all our differences aside, come together. Because this thing is dangerous.
Absolutely.
Well, it ain't about me. It's about these children that's coming up.
Yeah.
That's what this thing is about.
The golden children. Absolutely.
That's right. And they're here.
Yes.
And we have to prepare for them. We have to protect them. And we have to get the master teacher out. Isn't it strange? No one was called the master teacher until he put the term out. And then you have everybody calling themselves a master teacher. All you so-called leaders.
Absolutely. I can understand it. I see it all the time. Absolutely.
And all your leaders are reading those books. All your leaders are reading his books.
I just told Uma that his daughter earlier said it's so funny how people have taken my teachings and said they're going to go teach it because people don't like you, Quatita, so they would be better off learning it from me. And you don't have the background or the the wherewithal of where it came from spiritually to go teach my teachings.
Yeah, because it's yours.
Yes.
And they're gonna go and use it and put their little spin on it, and then it's not gonna resonate with those that's supposed to hear that, because they'll be able to see through it. Because see, when people come with truth and with an open heart, they're looking for something. It makes them feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And that's what that's what he has done. He has touched so many people's lives, from the small person to the highest.
Absolutely.
And that's what's frightening. That's what's frightening to this country, to the state of Georgia, to this whole demonic society. They don't want him out.
He's dangerous. He's dangerous to him.
That's right. He's that, what they call back in the old days, they're looking for that black Messiah. That's who it is.
Yeah. Gratitude.
These COINTELPROs and these Global 2000s and all these different programs sit to belittle and kill our leaders. And we stand by and let it happen. And we have to stop doing that. We have to come together regardless of what you think or what you believe or what you accept. Because they look at us as just, it ain't nothing but a bunch of niggas.
Yeah.
That's all they see.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to come together. I don't care what, because truth is going to prevail anyway. That's why people fail to realize truth is going to prevail. It always does. When truth comes, falsehood vanishes. And that's what they're afraid of. Because now they see money. That's how they're taking money from people and making people think a certain way to keep them under control. And when you start speaking about the spirit world, and you know what I'm saying, and the ancestors, that frightens them.
Yes.
When you have that connection, because see, they can't combat your connection because it's real to you, because they're dealing with you. It's not someone that's made up where you can't touch.
Yes.
There's no proof that they existed.
Wow.
But you always can go back to your ancestors because they're in you.
Absolutely.
You don't have to look for them. They're in you. You are them. And that's what this thing is about. We have to come together.
This has been
really
great.
Appreciate your opportunity.
Absolutely.
To be able to express the innocence of the master teacher.
Absolutely.
And, whatever I can do or you need from me, whatever I have, or I'll help you out, whatever I can do to make sure that our message gets out. And there's a lot of us. We're not just here, we're international. We're all over the world.
Absolutely.
This doctrine is all over the world, and it's spreading. And it's no accident that you're here.
Absolutely.
Don't think you're not a part of this.
I believe it.
You're more of a part of this than you can imagine.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, Mr. Squirrel. I will be back in touch. I'm going to save your number. And I so appreciate you for coming on and speaking. Free Dr. York. Free Dr. York.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sister.
Gratitude. Have a great day.
You too now. Thank you.
I am 2 minutes behind, and I have to get my session done. So I completely show gratitude to him. That was Mr. Squirrel. He, like he said, he's been a follower, and alongside of him, and was security for Dr. York for a number of years. So I'll be back here shortly. I have to get this session done, and I'm going to continue to keep saying, free Dr. York, free Metatron, free Metatron, free Metatron, free Dr. York. I show gratitude to everybody.